Hi everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today we're super excited to be hopping with Altenew and I have some new products to show you. So they sent me their new self-healing cutting mat. This is it right here. It comes in black on one side and it is 22 by 16 inches. Also has centered in the center your A2 card size in both places and also 12 by 12 cardstock. Plus there is a lighter side if you prefer working on lighter, and this side has metric dimensions on it, the other side has inches. Again, same thing over here. So I'm going to work on the dark side just because I like the contrast when I'm working, but you can use whatever works for you. I have a piece of watercolor paper and I'm going to be using their new watercolors. So this is the box, they're artist watercolors, and they're supposed to have really rich, intense colors. It is a beautiful tin. They come in this tin and your pans are inside just like that. So these are all of my colors. I'll lift them up so you can see. We've got yellows and oranges, reds, pinks, purples, of course, all of the colors that you'd expect in there. And then I have two new stamp sets to work with. We've got Ornamental Bliss, which you have this beautiful mandala that you can layer up, or we might use it a little bit different. And then there's Exotic Garden as well. So let's dive straight in. First of all, I want to create a background. So I'm going to just pick out a couple of pans. And there are lots of different ways to do this, but I just like to take them straight out. Now, they also have the name of the pan printed on the side, which I think is really neat. And they're not individually plastic wrapped, which you'll be pleased to hear. So this piece just peels off and you can open it up like that. I mean, simple. So I'm going to use the red Cosmos. And I'm also going to pick out, I think, Cherry Blossom and Fiery Sunset. So So once you have your pans open, you want to get to work. Now you can choose whatever paintbrushes work best for you. I have a whole drawer of them down here, but I'm going to pull out my silver brushes. These are my absolute favorites to work with. And I'm going to pull out this one here, which is my number 8 brush. And it's really nice for creating backgrounds. Now you don't need posh expensive brushes if you are just starting out, or maybe you don't watercolor a lot. I particularly like these. I just like the weight, the way they work. The bristles are really nice. And I'll link up a couple of options, of course, with some discounts for you. You want to make sure that you're hopping with Altenew too, because they have some really fun prizes as always. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a wet water wash down just on some of my cardstock, just to help my paints move around. So I'm going to grab out some color. Now you see how quickly and easily they are activated. And all I'm doing is just dabbing some down on my cardstock. And I'm going to wash that color off. I have a piece of kitchen towel to clean my brush. And I'm going to go into my green here. So just make sure I have. And anywhere that there's water, this will bleed into. If it's dry, the color's not going to run into that area. But all I want to do is just create a pretty background. So you can also spritz this if you wanted to. You don't have to just do it this way. This is a bit the Cherry Blossom. So this one I'm just being a little bit careful because I don't want it to make mud, but I also want it to mingle a little bit. So I'm just, you can see, being a bit more careful with this one. So I know that these two colours would mix to make mud, so you can see I'm really kind of adding it quite carefully, just to add a smidge of that colour. Okay, so that's literally it. Now the only downside of having a self-healing cutting mat is you can't apply heat to it. So I'm going to have to lift this up and put it somewhere else, or hold it whilst I heat dry it. But you can cut on it and it will heal, of course, all those kinds of things, but you don't want to apply any heat to it. So grab yourself, if you like a self-healing mat, don't put heat on it. Use like a cutting board, or you can use all sorts of different things, but just don't apply heat because it will warp your area. So you can see that like this little bit is running, so I'm just kind of playing with that watermark a little bit to make some fun texture in my card. But really, really simple. I'm just drying it with my heat tool. If I use my Ranger Heat It tool, this wouldn't move as much, but I really like the movement in this one, so I decided that my wiping would work great. So you just want to choose the right tool, or if you have the Wow embossing tool, that has a high and a low setting. But you can see here how I've got some fun watermarks in it. And then I'm going to creatively cut it down to the size I want. If you're not confident in creating watercolor backgrounds, you might want to check out a Hedgehog Hollow tip of a stamp that we use that just shows you how to create really easy backgrounds like this. So I'm just going to dry this one off. And if it won't dry in time and you don't mind lifting a bit of the color off, you can, of course, just blot it like this. Now I know I'm going to cut this down, so I'm not so worried about those edges. So once you've done that, you want to cut this down to carve front size. And for me, that's going to be 3 3/4 inches by 5. So I'm going to grab out my paper trimmer. And I'm going to start by trimming off this edge. And I like to trim a little from both sides, and then I kind of work out where I'm going to want things. I'm going to go like this. And then this one I know I'm going down to 5. I'm also going to cut my black while I'm here. So this one's going to want to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this is my card base ready to go. This is an A2 sized card base. So really easy assembly. Before we assemble, I'm going to want to stamp something on here. Plus I'm going to take one of those scraps, turn it over, and that's going to be my sentiment strip. See, again, avoiding waste, but making life really easy. So there's some really pretty sentiments in this one. So this is definitely going to be our sentiment stamp set. So let's do happy birthday, because we send all our Hedgehog Hollow Perks members birthday cards. If you're not signed up, use the link below. It's well worth it. There's lots of fun benefits, including birthday cards. And make sure when you sign up for the program, you also go and sign up for your birthday card. There is a link in there once you become a member. And then I'm going to take this one just because I ruined the other one, and I'm going to stamp my happy birthday. I'm using the Obsidian Ultra New ink for this one. Smudged, but that will wipe off. The one thing with this kind of mat is you can clean it with anything. So ink and stuff will clean off of it really easily. And I'm actually going to use that really pretty flower, which is here, as my background. You could, of course, also just stamp this part of the mandala. You don't have to stamp all of it. But there's another option for you. So I'm going to take this stamp, and I'm going to do something slightly different with it. So I'm just going to grab myself a piece of scrap from under here. I keep lots of scrap cardstock in the studio. And we're going to ink this up again with the Obsidian. So just remember, the Obsidian is pigment. So you either need to heat dry it or heat emboss it, or leave it a really good amount of time to dry. Either works. So I'm going to lightly stamp off. And then I'm going to go to my image over here, my background that we created, and stamp again. Now you could use a dark grey, you could really use anything, but what I wanted to do was get some kind of texture in there. The other thing that you can do is you can go back again, and it doesn't matter if it's slightly off, I just kind of line it up as best as I can. Using a Misty is a really good idea, but a dark grey or something like that. Just bear in mind that watercolor cardstock is textured, but you can create some really fun backgrounds. You see how this is going to pop on here, and then I'm going to have my happy birthday in the middle, and it just kind of looks like there's a really nice light impression. So it's supposed to look a little bit wishy-washy, like it's been watercolored, those kinds of things. And I'm just going to put this through the middle. So I'm going to snip this so it's the right size. And now I'm going to go on here. Now ideally I would have wanted a more solid colour in my backdrop, but I want to show you how even if you misstamp something like this, so say you stamp this first, you could then watercolour behind it once it's dry and create this exact same technique, and it's still salvageable. And I came up with this idea the other day. I misstamped a card and I was thinking, how do I repurpose it? Well, I wanted to show you kind of if I reverse engineered it as something perfect and kind of went for this look. But think, anytime you mess up a card, you can do exactly this. And how many times we all misstamped something? Quite a lot. If you have some foam tape, this is perfect to put underneath this. I'll grab some out of my drawer. And I'm going to put this on the back here. So I never edit out mistakes in our card making videos. I try to always show you how to fix them. So you can pop this on. You could also pop like a shimmer in the background. You could do all sorts of fun things to kind of hide that. But look at that, quick and easy birthday card. Shows you how to either make a looser card, or if you make a mistake, how to use that piece up. But isn't that, I think that's really pretty. I might add like a couple of Nouveau drops or some gems on there just to really make it pop. But I just wanted something subtle in the background. But mainly I wanted to show you, like, if something goes wrong, you can still use it. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Don't forget to hop. Instructions are below, and if you have any questions you can leave those in the comments, and I will see you again tomorrow, another tip, trick, tutorial, or maybe something a little bit different. I'll see you then. Happy crafting. Bye.